Hello, welcome back to Sextras.
Where we talk about sex and all the extras.
Yes, I'm Honey and I hate knee-high boots.
Bit mean.
They're so ugly though, like why are you trying to look like you just rode a horse? And then
Says the girl that has cowboy boots.
Okay,
and you think that they're fashionable. They're not.
Okay, but they're actually nice. They look good and they're not knee-high boots. To be fair, I've literally worn them like 3 times. They literally cost me like $100. And I bought them like a year ago.
Yeah, they should have never been bought. Anyway, hello guys, I'm Maria and I'm just more of a high ponytail kind of gal. I'm not really into low ponytails. I'm only really into low buns. You'll never catch me in a low pony. Yeah, that's my fun fact.
Nice. I hate knee-high boots and Maria hates low ponies. This week we are going to be talking about body confidence during sex, and yeah, we just want to talk a little bit more about loving yourself and your relationship with yourself, but also how that translates into when you're naked around someone else and how you feel in yourself knowing someone is looking at you when you're most vulnerable. And for anyone who is not familiar with just not thinking about your body or thinking about how you look during sex, we do have proof that it is a thing. It's not just us, I promise. When I told my boyfriend what the episode was going to be about, he was like, yeah, but people don't think about that during sex, like maybe before and after, but they don't think about it during. And I was like, okay, well, actually, I will have you know, people do. And to prove it, we did a poll. We asked you guys, do you think about how you look or worry about how you look during sex? And 78% of people said yes, 22% of people said no. So that just proves my theory.
Who the hell is that 22%? Like,
yeah,
give me some of that.
Imagine just never thinking about it. Like, how do you have that self-confidence?
Yeah, true. People always say, like, in sex you just get so like lost in the moment, you're just like not thinking about anything. And also I feel like maybe guys don't think about stuff as much as girls do during sex, but actually maybe that could just be completely wrong.
I feel like the minute they see a bit of skin or like their dick gets wet, they're just like on another planet.
Yeah, I just feel like guys are just like thinking about sex during sex, whereas like I do think about so many things during sex.
Oh, I think about so many things.
I mean, not always, but like sometimes.
Yeah, like your mind just starts to wander. But not because I'm not having a good time, just because.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Before we dive into the segment for today, I just wanted to remind everyone to please share our podcast to whoever you can. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. If you don't know how to write a review, a little tip is, well, not tip really, this is just quite a generic instruction, but if you don't know, then just say the things that you enjoy. What do you like about the podcast? And even if you don't like something, please give us feedback. If you don't want to leave it as a review, like the negative stuff, you can write us an email or DM us on Instagram, which will be in the description. But yeah, please just say what you like, what kind of topics you like talking about, and if you like the structure of the podcast. Yeah, just leave us a review.
Yeah, let us know any comments that you might have to add. We really want any kind of feedback, so
yes, please. And we post every week on Instagram the little illustration that Maria does for the episode, so if you want to share that on your social media, please feel free and tag us. And yeah, just let everyone know and get the word out. We would very much appreciate that. Anyway, moving on. We asked this week, when do you feel the most sexy? So just to bring a little bit of lightheartedness to this episode, we wanted to hear some positivity and what you guys think about when your most sexy time is. So should we dive into that? Someone said, when I'm completely naked and slightly wet after a shower. Yeah, I agree.
I relate to that so much.
I feel like
so sexy after the shower.
Yeah, my hair just looks really like slick and just nice. And I look so fresh and glowy. I literally sent you guys a Snapchat today being like, I look so glowy.
You just feel so clean and it's just so nice.
It's the best feeling. And when you have like fresh sheets and then you're all clean and you like feel all the like soft cleanliness. I don't know why that's sexy, but it is.
Yeah, you just feel really, I don't know, I just feel really attractive. I feel like I'm at my core, you know, I'm just so stripped down. And I'm
you
like...
feel so like wholesome.
Someone else said when sucking dick.
Yeah, I relate to
this quite a lot, actually. I feel like you just feel kind of sexy. Like you're just kind of, I don't know.
Like, I don't think I feel sexy. I feel sexual. I don't know why that's different. But
No,
do you know what I
get
mean?
what you mean. Yeah, no, I do get what you mean. But I do just feel sexy because I don't know. I just feel like my boyfriend just looks down on me and thinks that I'm like the hottest thing in the world, and that makes me feel really sexy, you know? And like, I don't know. Yeah.
Do you think like before porn people would have said that sucking dick makes them feel sexy? Because I'm thinking it's like what I envisage is like the camera angle of the girl sucking dick. So maybe that's like what you think your boyfriend sees and you're like, oh, that's so sexy. But like maybe before like mainstream porn and readily available porn, people wouldn't have thought that. But I mean, it obviously is sexy.
Guess
it's still sexy. You feel so empowered.
But the thing is, like, I'm under no impression that I look good. Like, I know that I'm just not going to be looking good. Like, my face is not in a good position. Do you know what I mean? It's just not, it's not the best angle or, like, position, whatever. But it's not so much about the way I look. It's just, like, knowing that I'm making that person, like, feel so good. That makes me, like, I don't know, it's just power.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
power.
that's what I mean. You feel so powerful and like nothing can stop you.
Yeah.
Like they can only think about you in that moment. So yeah. Someone else said during sex, so kind of similar. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, sexy sex kind of goes together, funnily enough.
Do you feel sexy during sex, hon?
I feel so sexy during sex.
Yeah, I feel pretty sexy too.
But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say when you feel the most sexy because, like, yeah, obviously during sex I feel so sexy. But I want to think of something outside of sex too where I'm like, oh, I feel so sexy then. But I can't think
my
of
other one
anything.
was getting out of the shower. Like, I just feel so good when I get out of the shower. I feel invincible. I feel like I'm my most attractive. But, like, actually makeup fresh out of the shower. That's when I look most attractive.
I think when I just, like, moisturize.
Someone else said when wearing red lipstick.
Ooh, yeah.
I feel like that's a great way to make a girl feel sexy. Except if you don't suit lipstick like me, and it just sometimes makes me feel a bit like a clown. So, but I think red lipstick is very sexy. So nice.
No, I think you do. You like hacked it because when you first started wearing it.
Yeah, but then the other, like recently I put some on and it did not look good. I looked bad.
You know what? I
So,
always used to wear
I
red
think it was
lipstick
just a
and I never
phase.
wear it anymore.
Yeah, you should. Maybe you'll feel more sexy like
Yeah.
this listener.
Yes. Actually, you know what? I really think that I feel really sexy when my hair looks like perfect. Like if my
Oh,
hair isn't
hair.
good, then I don't feel like good about myself. I'm like, no. And
Mm.
it's so annoying. I really don't want to care this much about my hair, but it just puts me in like a good mood. Like when my curls are like the perfect curls, when my fringe is like the perfect length, like right now it's so long and I hate it, and I'm like, it makes my face look completely different. Anyway, enough about me. Someone else said when I have a shower with my significant other. So yeah, a lot of showers. I kind of just think showers are the best, to be honest. It annoys me that you can't both be in the water at the same time. Like someone always has to
Yeah.
be cold or like
Yeah,
with water in your eyes.
I feel like the idea of it is better than the thing itself.
I feel like the actual thing is more cute than sexy. Like when me and my boyfriend take a shower, we just like listen to music and like sing in the shower and like dance. And I think that's kind of cute, but it's not like sexy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't really feel sexy when I shower at all, actually. That's one of my least sexy times, when I'm actually in the shower. Like, like washing myself, no, just not a nice, no. So, I don't know, me and my boyfriend don't really take many showers together, but I feel like the idea of it is always nicer than the reality.
Yeah, I agree.
Someone said, when I'm wearing black.
Yes, you're like so slick and
Very
fast.
sexy color. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
black's
I
like
don't know.
very
I think,
flattering.
I guess. I feel like I don't really feel sexy when I'm wearing black, though. Like, not, it's just more like it depends on the item of clothing rather than the color for me, I feel.
Nah, but black and red, they're like so sexy. And
I
you just feel so
guess.
like smooth and like slick. Actually, I feel really sexy when I'm wearing velvet. I feel so smooth and
Nice.
like someone else said when I'm tipsy. Fair.
Yep. Yep. I mean, when I'm drunk. Like, any alcohol, and I just think I'm the sexiest person alive, pretty much.
I
Or it can
really
go the other
don't
way.
get that. I just feel so well because I used to be such a heavyweight, but now I'm such a lightweight. I just feel like such a fucking mess when I'm drunk. I literally feel like
Yeah, I
just
guess.
super emotional, and I hate it. I hate it so much. Oh my god! But actually, maybe like tequila drunk, you feel so good about yourself.
Yeah,
and, like,
actually,
so
I was gonna say it
energetic.
depends what kind of drunk. Yeah, but like some drunks, I just feel like I'm the sexiest woman alive, literally.
I believe I'm sexy, and then I am sexy.
Yes. Um, someone said after a poo and a shower and a moisturize. Yeah, what we were
Yeah.
saying before, 100%. But yeah, I like the poo, the added clause, because it is true.
Yeah, actually going the other way, I think I feel the least sexy when I'm like bloated. So like beer drunk,
Yeah.
I feel so unsexy. I literally feel like I'm gonna explode. Or like when you eat loads, you just feel like massive and like you just can't move and you just feel bad about yourself and you're like, why have I done this to myself? The next one is when I listen to bops and dance alone in my room. Billie Jean has really got me at the moment. Yeah, I love, like, sometimes I just listen to really like uplifting music and you're just dancing and you're like, oh, I know I look like really stupid right now, but you feel like good.
Nah, I get it more in like I'll dance in my room and I think I'm like I look so good, or like in the shower and I just think I'm being so sexy. So I get that more than like I genuinely think I look incredible when I'm aware that I probably look awful and I'm dancing so badly. But yeah, I feel you. And then the last one is just when I'm on top.
I
So,
really agree with this one.
as a girl, this was a girl, by the way. I feel like that's kind of relevant, no?
Yeah, I think
I mean,
that's relevant.
considering, like, we're going to dive into it a little bit more in the actual episode, but yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like when you're on top as a girl, you're like, you just feel so like in charge of your sexuality, and you're like, yes, I'm taking this into my own hands now. Like, I have the power. Even though I don't really I don't want to have the power during sex, if you know what I mean. But I still really like it because I know that it's like really, like, it makes me feel like I look really good.
So, hun, tell me, and the listeners, do you think about how your body looks during sex, and how much do you think that kind of affects the sex you're having, or do you not think about it at all?
I think at the moment with my boyfriend, I don't really think about it that much. I only really think about it if I'm already like feeling kind of like down about myself that day. Like if I go into it already being like, oh, I just feel kind of like I don't like how I feel today. Like I feel bloated and like groggy and my hair's like really greasy, then that's when I'll think about it. But even then it's not really that much. It's just I recognize it. But then I think I'm good at just like not thinking about it. And if I'm feeling so terrible about myself in the first place, then I probably won't be in the mood to have sex because I just don't want to be like in that position. But like that never really happens. So.
Yeah, to be honest, I kind of feel the same. I don't really think about it that much kind of on a day-to-day basis, but then like obviously, yeah, there are those days that you just feel kind of shitty, and then that's when it's gonna come up. And yeah, I actually hadn't really thought about it, but sometimes my boyfriend will be like, oh, do you want to have sex, or like whatever, and I just feel really unsexy, and I'm like, I'll be like, nah, I just feel really unsexy, and he's like, yeah, but you don't really have to feel sexy, like it doesn't matter, you don't have to do anything, I'm just gonna like do the work, it's fine. And I don't know, just something in my head is like, I just can't, because I feel so unsexy, even though I know it's like he's might not even necessarily look at that part of my body I'm feeling insecure about. Oh, like I actually have an example. Like I had this huge spot on my bum last time that I was with him, and like the last night it got so bad, the spot was so disgusting, like it really was awful. And then he wanted to have sex, and I was just like, I just really, like, I feel so unsexy. I don't want to have sex at all. Like, I don't want that spot to be revealed in any way, shape, or form. And even if we could have avoided it, do you know what I mean? So he didn't see it. It was just like the thought of it. I was like, I literally can't even get into a sexy space. I can't be in a sexual mindset right now because I feel so unsexy.
That's interesting. Yeah, I feel like I don't, because I have like eczema and I have it all around my hip, and sometimes after we have sex I like look at it and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I looked like this, like what the fuck. But I know even like the things that I don't like he would just never really, like, even if he thinks it, he's never gonna say it, so it was like,
yeah,
and he will still find
mean,
me like sexy regardless.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is in our heads.
Yeah, I don't feel like restricted by it.
Yeah,
I don't think I would ever not have sex with my boyfriend just because I don't like how I look. It would be with other factors as well, like if I just am having a bad day and I'm like in a really bad mood, or I'm just feeling really down.
Yeah, to be fair, my example, it was kind of like that, but I was also fucking exhausted, like it wasn't gonna happen, but also like that was a part of why I just didn't feel sexy, so I didn't want to do it. And I feel like it's not that I constantly feel, it's not, I feel like what we're saying is it's not like we constantly feel self-conscious during sex, it's just that there are those days that it's kind of like, I mean, there are like kind of a lot of stuff going on that's making me not want to have sex, and part of that is like I just feel shit.
Yeah, that's fair. So what about, because like this is kind of easy for us to talk about because we're both in relationships and we have been for like months, so I guess we're both kind of pretty comfortable with our boyfriends already. So when I first started seeing my boyfriend, I was like, oh, I don't want him to like see me without makeup. But now it's like, well, I literally couldn't care less. Like I see him without makeup every day. But seeing as you're like specifically going somewhere and you know you're gonna have sex with them, like you're not just like with them all the time. So like what about when you first like got into a relationship, or when you've started sleeping with someone new in the past? Like how have you felt about your body in those situations?
I mean, I think in my phase of kind of sleeping around and stuff, I was drunk through most of it. So I think in that sense, like how I was saying before, that when I'm drunk, like I just feel really confident and really sexy. And I think during this period, I kind of was just like drunk and just felt like I was the sexiest thing ever. So I feel like I tried to not, even though that it's not like I actually thought that my body was amazing and stuff, and it's not that like while I was having sex I would be thinking like, oh wow, I bet they think my body is incredible, or even that, like, I don't know. Yeah, but I feel like I've never thought that I wasn't pretty enough or like good enough for someone to sleep with me, and like I've never not done it because I've been self-conscious of like the way I look or whatever. But I do remember when I first started having sex, actually I would get so self-conscious of it, as in like more that I just didn't know how to have sex, and like I didn't know if my body looked the way it was meant to look, especially like my vagina, and whether like the way that my body reacted to like sexual things was normal. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know sometimes when like you're not coming, like at the start when you start having sex and you're not coming, or they're not coming, or something like that, and you just don't know that it's normal, or that like you just don't know your body yet in terms of sex that much.
Yeah.
So I remember like a big insecurity is always like, oh, am I gonna do something wrong? Am I gonna do it wrong?
Yeah.
So I think I have definitely felt that, especially like just kind of like sleeping with anyone new. There is that nervousness of like, oh, are they just gonna think I'm kind of shit? Like, I hope that they think I'm fit. All of these things. Yeah, no, I feel like I haven't really had a terrible time in being confident in my body. And I feel like also being in a relationship, in like 2 long-term relationships, helped that in some kind of way in terms of my like sexual growth and confidence, because then it's kind of like if you're in the space of like you're really comfortable and you can be naked in front of each other, and it's sort of like the first times that I was exposing myself to people and kind of like getting used to that. And then after, I kind of, in my head, it was kind of like, oh, okay, I'm pretty normal, like she seemed to be into that, or like he seemed to be into that, which is kind of bad to base your value on what other people think of you. It's kind of making me sad.
No, but I kind of understand what you're saying, because I'm actually thinking like the times where I have really doubted if I look good during sex has been like with people I already know, or like have spent some time with before going into a sexual situation. Because like people that I've just met for like a few hours and then had sex with, I haven't really had the time to think about that kind of thing. And you're kind of going somewhere with the mindset of like, oh, I'm going somewhere to like have sex right now, so you take more time, I think, to get ready. And that's also an important thing, is like self-care, which we talked about in one of our episodes, and like really taking the time to like make yourself feel good. So I feel like you do that more when you're specifically going somewhere to like have sex with someone, or because you know you want to look good, versus if you just end up going somewhere to sleep with like a fuck buddy or something. I feel like that's when I felt insecure, because it's like, oh, well, I always look good for this person because I always go there. But like right now I'm like maybe not completely prepared, or like maybe I haven't showered, and like I've felt insecure about my vagina, being worried about my vagina, and like,
yeah,
do I have thrush? Do I have eczema on my vagina? Am I bleeding? And those are all things that you have to really think about if you're just going somewhere to like sleep with someone casually.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of thinking like there are obviously those guys that is just like you sleep with and you literally don't really care, like you're drunk, whatever. But then there are those guys that you're kind of like stressing for and like getting ready. Like there's a lot of prep that goes into it, which obviously just comes from like you want to make yourself feel as confident as possible. Like you shave fully, you like all of these things because you want the other person to accept you as much as possible. Like you don't want to leave anything to chance.
Yeah.
I feel, which is kind of sad. But like in terms of body hair, that's kind of a huge one. I feel like in terms of shaving or waxing or getting rid of your bush or whatever, it's such a, to me, like I remember when I first started having sex with my ex-girlfriend, we were just completely chill with it and it was kind of two girls, but all throughout that whole relationship, in my head, I knew, I was like, oh, but this is like a commodity. Like, this isn't how it usually is. Like, in the real world, I'm gonna have to shave. When I start, like, sleeping with other people, I'm gonna have to shave. And then when I started having sex, in my head, there was, like, no other option than, like, shaving your whole vagina. And still to this day, I shave my whole vagina, which, like, some people find ludicrous, and then some people just find completely normal.
Yeah, I think it's kind of difficult because things like body hair and your body visually, it's also subjective. It's not like an objective thing. Everyone knows what they like in terms of body hair, so then when you're sleeping around, it's kind of like you kind of just make a gamble and you're like, oh well, most people will like it or like expect me to be shaved.
I think it's more of the expectation for me. Like, I think I would be scared to go with a full bush because they would expect to be shaved and then there would be disappointment. That's so fucked up if you think about it. Like, that's so scary. That's so mean that's to make girls think that.
Yeah, girls just have to think about that. Because I always would shave just everywhere. Like, I would just leave, like, a bit of hair, but would like go into it thinking like, oh, this is what I have to do. I would never go somewhere like now I have a full bush. It's crazy. For the first time in my life, the most hair. I didn't even know I could grow this much. And like my boyfriend is like, oh, are you gonna shave it? I'm like, nah mate, sorry. Because yeah, I just like it, and I hate having to shave. Like, it's the worst feeling, and I kind of don't like, the only reason I would, like, when you told me that you shave every time, I'm like, oh, but the inconvenience, I just can't be bothered anymore. Like, it's like, obviously everyone can do what they want if that's what you like doing. Like, when I was shaving, I liked doing that because it made me feel just better going into a situation where you're going to be vulnerable or where you could potentially be judged. But now I'm like, oh, I'm very happy. Like, this is just chill, you know?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, just kind of body hair in terms of body confidence, I feel like during, like, for sexy reasons, I feel like body hair is a huge source of like either confidence or shame. Like, I feel like you can really use it to your advantage, but it can also make you feel like shit, as in like how you were saying, like, I shave because it makes me feel great. Like, when me and my boyfriend have sex after I have just like, it's clean shaven, it's like the best, and I feel the most sexy and I feel the best ever, and like that's why I do it, because it makes me feel great. Equally though, if you're kind of like, oh, like for instance, let's say you have loads of ingrown hairs and all of this stuff and it looks like really irritated all around because you're shaving, which by the way happens to me, so like I live with this
very common
all the time. So then let's say shaving is actually making you less confident, because then in that period where your hair's growing out and like it's all patchy and grows, like you feel like shit. So then maybe the solution is like, okay, then maybe I don't shave. That's making me feel like shit. So maybe, but I still want to be hairless. So, okay, what about waxing? Do you know what I mean? Like, just look at it, like, look at how something's actually making you feel rather than what you think you should be doing. Like, no one should be shaving their pussy if they don't want to. Do it because you want to. And obviously, if it's like your partner wanting you to, and you don't necessarily want to, completely your choice, and they're kind of shit.
Yeah, and you should just like have a conversation with them about their expectations.
Yeah, but also if the reason that you want to do it is for your partner, which like part of my reason is, I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. Like, we do plenty of things to make our partners happy, and I don't think that being one of them is necessarily wrong. If obviously if that's what you want to do, no one should be forcing you, but yeah. But then what if you are going into one night stand situations, you are to like you are embarrassed of like not being clean shaven, but you don't want to clean shave. Like, how do you find confidence and like just embrace the bush if you know that there's an expectation for you to not have it? How do you kind of go around that and like make yourself feel happy?
I feel like if you decide not to do it, you just have to own it. Like, don't go in and be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't shave. Like, don't go in and be all apologetic and like shy. You literally just go in, take your fucking pants off and be like, look at this. Like, this is what you're getting. If you're not into it, then like, too bad. Bye. I'll go find someone else to sleep with, you know? And I think that's just a reasonable thing. And maybe if you are sleeping with someone, even if it's casually, like pretty regularly, and it's been going on for a few months, then yeah, just ask kind of what they expect. But then it's also like, if you are sleeping with them casually, then maybe you're sleeping with other people too, so you just make an informed decision based on everything, you know?
Yeah, and I think it's also important to remember, like, I've asked so many men in my time if they would care if a girl hadn't shaved. And literally, like, quite a lot will be like, oh, I mean, like, I would rather she did. But at the same time, when you're like, oh, yeah, but would you not fuck her? It's like, well, no, obviously I would. As in... like, it doesn't really change much for them. It doesn't make you a different person. It doesn't, like, at the end of the day, it's just hair in your vagina. Like, your face still looks the same. Everything is the same, baby.
Yeah.
You're beautiful. But, like, there's just a little bit of hair there.
The people that I've asked have said, like, I don't really care if, like, I wouldn't care if they didn't shave at all as long as they trim, which I think is, like, fair.
Yeah, I think people just want a bit of, like, cleanliness. Like, they just want a little bit of a signal that you are somewhat, like,
yeah, they want to know you
hygienic.
don't have crabs, and they want to be able to see your genitals.
Yeah, because then also sometimes if that bush is really full, men will be like, oh, I just like don't want that stuff in my mouth, and like then I can't even find the clit and stuff, and it's like, what? Like, then you're just giving head wrong, because I'm sorry, public service announcement, but like, as a girl that dated another girl with a full bush for a year, we both had full bushes. I'm not even exaggerating, less than 5 hairs were ever in my mouth, and we had sex like a lot for over a year. So anyone that is being like, oh, I just didn't want hair in my mouth, then change your technique. You're doing it wrong.
Yeah, bitch. Okay, well, I wanted to ask then about, like, because obviously we can't speak for men, so I kind of want to also just recognize men having issues with body confidence and like penis size and weight and hair. Like, do you think it goes both ways? Like, do you think men are stressed about hair? Because I know some men are really insecure about if they don't have enough hair, and like they don't think
Really?
it's manly.
Oh, okay, more in like
Because-
body. Okay, more like body hair. I was thinking of hair in their balls.
Yeah. Oh no, because I literally, like, I don't even know about that.
I didn't
Like,
even know
I'm
guys
so
shaved. I didn't even
confused.
know guys shaved their pubes until I got to uni. So like,
Yeah, like I would never not sleep with a guy because he has like too much hair on his dick or like too little hair, like, on
yeah,
his
neither
chest,
would
you
I.
know?
I wouldn't judge hair at all. In terms of hair, I would never judge a guy. I feel like, I don't know, actually. I was going to say, I feel like guys are a little bit more judgmental, but actually, girls can be kind of cruel, so...
Girls can be kind of cruel, but I think in sexual situations, the things that I've heard from people I know, guys are a lot more judgmental and say things that are more hurtful in that kind of situation than girls are to guys. I just can't, I don't think I've ever heard of a situation where a girl has like shamed a guy for something during sex.
Yeah, no, I have. Like, you hear kind of like, oh, he was so shit, he didn't know what he was doing, like, his dick was so small, all of these things.
Yeah, but like after.
And
But
I feel like
mean,
there's so much
in
pressure.
the actual moment.
Oh, yeah, no, I feel like girls will be really understanding. like, for instance, like if a guy can't get hard or that kind of stuff, like girls, I can't see, I've never heard of a girl being mean about it. Mostly I think girls just think that they feel bad, like they think it's their fault, which it isn't, by the way, girls, including myself, note to self. But yeah, I mean, it must be really stressful. I do feel for men in terms of sex and being confident in a way that I don't for women, but like we both have it bad. It's just like, at least girls don't have to worry about the stress of like getting it up, and like you kind of have to, like, if the thing isn't going up, like part of the production is not going to go through. So like you're kind of I don't know, it's a lot of pressure. Limited. I do really sympathize. And then like coming quickly, like that pressure, I feel like there's more pressure on guys in a performative sense, but there's a lot more pressure on girls on like more of a physical, like, appearance kind of way. More like guys are more judgy on appearance and girls are more judgy on performance, and which obviously makes sense, but they're both kind of shit.
No, I completely agree. Have you ever been in a situation where someone has said something during sex that you're like, that was aimed at like my appearance or aimed at my body or anything like that?
During sex?
Or like in the experience?
Oh, as in like something mean or like a compliment?
Yeah, something mean. Now, has anyone ever complimented you during sex?
Maybe not though. Like,
can you imagine if you said no?
I feel like that happens.
So sad for you.
I feel like that happens. I feel like I haven't been complimented that much. Like, I can't pull up that many examples, baby.
No, but I'm like, well, please sleep with someone who is at least like nice to you and like says you look nice, you know?
But what, like mid fuck, like, oh, you look so nice.
Yeah, my boyfriend's like, wow, you look so fucking hot.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
like, okay,
you look so fucking hot too. Like, you know, it's kind of nice.
Yeah, no,
just
of course,
give them a little
of course.
booster.
Has anyone ever said something mean about my body? No. But like, yeah, I feel like I'm a lot more self-conscious during sex of like my performance than my looks, because I mean, the two things that like just came into my mind was like a guy saying that I'm shit at giving blowjobs and a guy saying that I'm shit at going on top. And those are like two things, like those are two things guys have said to me, like not during sex, but like either during sex or like right after. So
yeah,
that kind of hurt.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of that kind of thing, like someone saying, oh, you're shit at this or you're shit at that. But I've also heard a lot about boys just like being dicks about how a girl looks or like what she's wearing, you know.
Has anyone ever said something to you?
No one's ever said anything, but people have said like, oh, I don't really care about a girl's body, I only really care about her face. And I'm like, okay, well, like, were you just like low-key saying that you don't like my body, you know? And like I've had people say they don't like my body hair and stuff. I'm like, okay, but I literally don't care. But I think the thing that I'm like most insecure about is like hygiene, and I think that's the thing that I'm most conscious of when I sleep with someone, is like I want them to be like hygienic.
Yeah, I guess I feel like I'm not that self-conscious of that. Actually, no, I feel like I am. I mean, I didn't have morning sex up until like this year, just because of like the hygienes of it, just like the thought of someone like sticking their face in between my legs like right when I woke up is just a bit like not really, like I just don't think that would be nice for them. I just don't think so.
Yeah, but I feel like I've felt that too, but like now I've gotten over it because being like on my period, because I went back on my pill, so I've been bleeding for like the last 3 months, so I've kind of had to like get over that. And then yeah, just like problems with my vagina, like thrush and stuff, which like is not like, I've never met someone who's like, oh, I won't have sex with you because you have thrush, but it's like you don't particularly want to go into the situation knowing you have thrush, knowing that like,
yeah, true,
that's going on down there, and it's not particularly comfortable for you either.
Yeah, it hurt. It hurt.
Yeah, really do.
Yeah, that's true. Wait, I kind of want to talk about vaginas a little bit.
Okay.
I feel like people are quite self-conscious of their vaginas.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you feel self-conscious of your vagina?
I don't think I've ever felt self-conscious about it. I really love my vagina. But I think I have a nice vagina.
Oh my god.
But I don't think I've ever seen a vagina that I'm like, it's really gross.
Yeah, true. Neither have I. I've never seen a vagina that I thought was gross.
Like, I just don't think vaginas are ugly.
I think they're kind of cool. I mean, I don't think that they're like necessarily pretty. I don't really agree with that. I think that they're kind of cool looking though.
Yeah, but I would never sleep with someone because I'm like attracted to their genitals. Like, that would never be the sole thing that I sleep with someone for, which is what I don't understand. Like, I would never look at a dick and be like, oh yes, we have to have sex right now. Or like look at a vagina and be like, wow, beauty.
But I guess in the way guys have dick sizes, we have to have like vagina looks.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, guys not gonna
Yeah, to a
stress
certain
over their dick being
extent.
ugly, but that's because they already have to stress about it being big.
But like, is a guy really gonna look at a vagina and be like, oh, I'm not going in there? Like, no. It's just not gonna happen, realistically. Like, something would have to be really wrong.
I feel like the insecurity though doesn't actually come from thinking a guy's gonna do that. Like, because I'm kind of thinking, okay, myself, you just said you're not really insecure about your vagina, but I kind of am. Like, I have gone through periods that I just like feel kind of insecure and I feel like it's ugly and it smells bad and like
I think the smell thing
is
like
very
a big
concerning
problem for people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people really worry about that.
Do we have any tips for smell?
Please don't use anything perfumed on your vagina.
Nothing
It's just so bad for it. Even if it smells the worst it's ever smelled. No. Literally just wash it with some water, please.
Yeah,
please.
definitely. If it smells, like, don't put anything on it. Go wash it. Like, that's the only thing you should be thinking of doing. And just with water. This is a thing I do, and I wash my vagina with soap. I'm really sorry to everyone out there that knows that that's wrong. I just can't stop it. It's like, I can't, okay? But it's bad for you. I know it's bad for you. It gives me thrush.
Yeah.
So
this is a PSA that you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Should
For a
not
vagina.
be washing your vagina with soap.
For a vagina, I think vaginas always smell a little bit weird. Like, I don't think your vagina's gonna smell delicious ever, unless
Vagina
like you
just
think
has
vagina
like a
smells
generic
delicious.
vagina smell.
Exactly. So I think as long as you kind of remember that, keep your, keep a look on your discharge. Like, if it's going a bit crazy, you should probably talk to someone. But if not, chances are it's completely normal. It's completely hormonal. Like, sometimes it will smell a little bit more than other times. And I promise you that no one can smell it as much as you can. Because the amount of times I've been like, I can smell my own vagina. Like, when you're in your period especially and you can just smell it. Yeah. And I promise you, like, I've never been like, oh, I can smell someone's vagina, like, when they're close to me. Do you know what Like, I've never had that. Other than my ex-girlfriend.
No, but that's the thing, is that it's like a natural thing that your vagina just changes smell depending on your cycle and all these things that can have a factor. But it's like, if you can't smell your vagina, like what you were saying, like, if you can't really smell it like on a daily basis, like every single day consistently, then you're probably fine. And like, if you're really, really worried about it, just wash your vagina every morning with some water. That's all you have to do. Just splash a bit on. Or if like you're going to a dick appointment, literally just get some toilet paper, run it under the tap, wipe it on your vagina, like wipe around, and then you should be fine. Drink a lot of pineapple juice.
Don't be putting any stuff
have
inside
a good diet.
Either. Like, don't be putting soap and stuff. Like, don't be thinking that it's gonna like clean your vagina out from the inside, because that ain't gonna happen. It's just gonna give you thrush.
Girl. And it's probably just going to make the problem even worse, because it's cleaning out all the good bacteria. So then it just makes things worse for you in the long run. Like, you're more likely to get BV or thrush or any of those things. It's not good for you. Please don't douche up there either. It's just not a thing. You don't need to do it. Please. Yeah, have a good diet. Like, eat loads of vegetables, eat loads of fruits. don't be eating like shit tons of salty food and meat, because it's just a recipe for disaster. And like loads of sugar will probably give you thrush. So yeah, just something
We're
to
not
consider.
healthcare professionals, guys.
Yeah, we're not.
Please consult a doctor for any actual worries you might have. But
you know, I actually could be, considering the amount of things that I've had to learn about, because I like haven't been able to get good advice for it. So
other than smell though, what about the way your vagina looks? Like, how do you feel better about that? I feel like, okay, how have I felt better about the way my vagina looks? I think I've just sort of realized that everyone's vagina looks so different. And like genuinely looks so different.
It's like how everyone looks different. Like everyone has a different face, everyone has a different body.
Yeah, and I just think, if you think about it, all vaginas are kind of already a little bit ugly. Like, as in, they're not ugly, all vaginas are beautiful, but like vaginas are a little bit weird looking. So even if you think of the most perfect looking vagina, it still looks like a vagina. It still looks fucking weird. And then think of that perfect vagina, quote unquote perfect vagina, and then think of yours. It just looks a little bit weird too. Like, it literally, they both look fucking weird.
Yeah, there's really not a lot to live up to.
Yeah, like, what do you mean by perfect vagina? Like, what would you even have to change about yours? Like, snip, snap, snap, like some of those, like, little lips. But why? But for what? Like, what do you mean?
Snip, snap, snap.
Like, those, like, the more the merrier, first of all. Because it genuinely is the more the merrier. The more surface area, the more stuff there is to stimulate. Think about that. Think about that for a second.
True that. But also, I just want to say, like, if you're watching porn and your idea of the perfect vagina comes from porn, you have to consider that so many porn stars get labioplasty. They get plastic surgery on their vagina. That's not their actual vagina. So don't be having this unrealistic expectation in your head, like, oh, my vagina has to be completely symmetrical. The same with your boobs. Like, your boobs aren't going to be the same. No one has perfectly symmetrical boobs. It's just not a thing.
Yeah.
So
I actually I'm kind of thinking about this, and I'm just like, why do we actually care about what our vaginas look like so much? Because at the end of the day, the guy is just going to stick his dick in and it's going to feel the exact same as any other vagina. So, like,
yeah.
I mean, I get when he's going down on you and stuff, like, he can see it, and like, if he's fingering you, so I get being self-conscious about that, like, as any other part of your body, if you're self-conscious about it, if they can see it. But they're not like looking at it. It's not something that's going to be that exposed. Think of it more as like literally the vehicle for you to like be intimate with your partner. Yeah, and like your like your
vagina makes you a woman.
Yeah, and like your own vehicle for yourself. It. Yeah, like babies come out of that shit. That's crazy.
It's crazy. So much happens down there. Like, just be proud of your vagina.
Yeah, to be fair, we have been saying vagina this whole time, but we are aware that it is the vulva. It's just so everyone kind of, it's just, you know, more commonly known as the vagina. But the vulva is actually the like
everyone
flaps
comes
and stuff.
from a vagina.
Yeah.
Like, can we just, if a guy's like chatting shit about your vagina, be like, you literally came from a vagina.
Also, what do you mean? If a guy's chatting shit about your vagina, then it's like, great, you don't have to come anywhere near it.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Okay, well, to just like finish up, do you have any closing thoughts in terms of how to overcome feeling like worried about your body during sex? Like, how have you stopped thinking about it, if you have? And then also, like, what do you think about when you're like having sex with someone else? Like, do you think about their body? What are you thinking about? Just to like maybe clear that up in some people's minds.
What am I thinking about? No, I'm not really thinking about their body, but right now I'm kind of just thinking about having sex with my boyfriend, because I'm not really thinking about any like other people. But so in terms of that, it's like, I know that I find him really fit, so because he's my boyfriend, do you know what I mean? So it's not really like a concern. And I always think he looks good. Like, I literally have never thought he doesn't look good, which I'm sure is
Yeah.
what he thinks about me. Is just, of course, there are days that I think I don't look great, or positions that I don't think I look great in, or whatever. But I guess if you just think about it in terms of, I'm here because I find this person attractive and they're gonna make me feel good, or like I want to make them feel good, whatever it is, and they're here for the same reason. Like, they wouldn't be here if they didn't find me attractive. Therefore, I am attractive. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, like if you're
Therefore-
already there, if they're already like fucking you, then it's too late to even think about that.
Yeah. What about? But then again,
Like sometimes I look down during sex and I'm like, I don't like how my body looks, but then I just look away because that's not what I want to be thinking about during sex.
I think just if you find yourself like overthinking it and thinking about it a lot, because that can then ruin the fucking mood. Because also I think as women, it's really important. I don't know, at least for myself, I get really turned on by knowing that like the person I'm having sex with is like turned on. So like a guy will get turned on by seeing like a naked girl, but I think like the girl is more like the way that the guy looks at her, as in like knowing that he's finding her fit, that then she feels like really sexy in herself. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, like I feel like to be turned on, I have to feel like the other person is turned on. Therefore, I think like just try to focus on sort of the other person, like try to focus on their facial expressions, try to focus on the way that they're reacting to you, like really just start to think about the other person rather than like the sex you're having, even rather than like the togetherness of it all or whatever, like skin to skin, like literally just focus on them and sort of like they're just as I said, like the very like the details, like the way their face looks, the way their body looks, and in not a judgmental way, because I feel like now I'm kind of like, oh yeah, but if I'm just like looking at them and thinking about their body, that's what they're doing about me. But not in a judgmental way, just in a way to sort of like get you going even more, in a sense, you know?
Yeah. And I would say like hygiene is the most important thing. So maybe just if you're feeling bad about yourself, just make sure you're like hygienic and you're like taking the time to make yourself feel and like look good before you're going somewhere to have sex. And then also I was gonna say confidence during sex just comes from overall self-confidence, which we talked about more in our On Loving Yourself episode. So yeah, get some more tips from that. And
another thing, lingerie can make a girl feel very confident, so definitely
true.
like go pick some nice stuff out that will make you feel so sexy.
And maybe just sleep with nicer people who like compliment
definitely.
you more.
That one too. But
yeah,
all in all, and all vaginas are beautiful. That's my other closing statement. But other than that,
and so are dicks, and boys, you're so much more attractive than just being masculine and fulfilling a standard of masculinity, because I don't think that's what girls are looking for in the end. And everyone just be nice to each other.
Please. And of course, follow us on Instagram at Sextras Podcast. And of course, email us if you have anything to say. Please, guys, like email us if you have any questions, any suggestions, anything you'd like to add, anything
or if you just want to have a chat.
Literally, if anything we said during an episode made you think of something, just DM us or email us. Honestly, like we
put
just
it
want
on
to
our
hear.
Facebook.
We just want to hear from all of you. So yeah, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Sextras Podcast, on Facebook at Sextras Podcast, email us at Sextras Podcast, and of course subscribe, follow, share, all of those lovely things.
Yes, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, bye.
You've been listening to Sextras, presented by Honey Jane Wyatt and Maria Jose Hayodatiyi. Produced by Mable Productions.